Breaking news. Cassie has been on the stand. Diddy's trial has started. We're going to give you the hood breakdown. Plenty of gunshots for you in this joint tonight. Y'all ready to rock and roll? Tune in, come in. Let's get it right. We're going to play the intro as they come in. Yo, Cassie took the stand. It's a debate discrepancy if she wanted to, you know, to have him in her mouth. You know what I mean? Did she ask for it, or, you know, was it forced on her or given to her? The government's first witness said that Cassie asked him to urinate in her mouth. That's what the first witness said. Then Cassie went up there and refuted that because her husband's sitting in the stand. So Cassie says, nah, I didn't want that. I wasn't with none of that. I'm not that freaky. You know, this is what's going on in the courtroom, right? So this is what Diddy's on trial for, you know, his sex life. I don't know. Do you think they might have taken Diddy to trial because he's getting too much sex? And they trying to slow him down? Somebody let me know. Somebody put in the comments. Until then, let's get the intro popping. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. All right? Hit that like button. Let's keep it moving. All right, we're gonna keep it moving real quick. We're gonna hit the like button. We're gonna start this party. Bigger BX, you ready? You in the house? Gunshots to Bigger BX, your best moderator in the house. All right, and Destiny. Let's keep it moving. All right, now we're gonna play the joint, and we're gonna see how, you know, Cassie tried to get away and the evidence that was presented over the first 3 days of the trial. I got the phone number I'm gonna put up there. When someone call in, if you hear them on a call, please do not call when they call, because I'm not going to be rude and hang up on them while they're talking. When they're done, feel free to call. We want your opinion. All right? Now, let's see what Crime Fix talking about.
Johnson then walked through the video with Ventura. She asked Ventura how many times Sean Combs had thrown her to the ground that way. She said too many to count. Throughout the freak-offs, Cassie said there were sessions. In between the sessions, she and Combs would take more drugs. And she said there were times she suffered side effects from the drugs, and she admits she would often take them just to cope. Johnson asked, how often...
Hold up. See, that's what I'm saying, right? That's why we're doing this at the Mecca round. Let's take it right. All the strip clubs I've been to, 98% of the females in there say that they take some type of stimulant in order to cope. If you've seen the show Players Club, right? When Lisa Ray's little cousin came, remember they started pumping the pills in it, Was they supposed to be charged with sex trafficking? I'm just saying, y'all put in the comments, because, you know, it's like what was considered the norm, you know, in our environment is now the abnormal, because they're using old moralistic laws that forbidded the things that society has evolved to, if you understand what I'm saying. In other words, the law haven't caught up with the sexual desires and freak-offness of what's happening here, right? Do y'all agree with that or not? What up, BX Finest? But do y'all agree with that or not? Put it in the comments. I'm going to play this, but that's what this is all about. A man is on trial for his ex-life. Let's figure this out.
Often would you get sick from taking MDMA or ecstasy? Ventura responded, almost every time, like before the actual high hit, I would feel like vomiting. It was usually like a normal thing. Johnson asked, would you vomit or would you just feel nauseous? Ventura responded, I would actually vomit, yeah. Johnson asked, did Sean know about the effects that ecstasy and MDMA had on you? Ventura responded, yeah. Johnson asked, how? Ventura responded, because he would see me in the bathroom, or I would tell him, so he would just know. Johnson asked, what, if anything, would Sean say when you got sick from MDMA or ecstasy? Ventura responded, he didn't say much, But if we were in the freak off, he would be encouraging me to get up and continue on with it in that condition. Those were not the only drugs Ventura said Combs would ask her or escorts to take. Johnson asked, were there any occasions where Sean offered the escorts drugs like Viagra? Ventura responded, yeah. Johnson asked, and who else besides escorts did Sean offer Viagra to? Ventura responded, he offered it to me before. Johnson asked, and what did he say about you taking Viagra? Ventura responded that it has the same effect on women, just sensitivity. Johnson asked, do you take the Viagra that he offered you? Ventura responded, I did.
Did y'all know that Viagra had the same effect on women as it does on men? It just makes them more sensitive. You see how they experimented and figured out things that we didn't even think of? Have you ladies thought about taking Viagra? Somebody put that in the comments. Have you ladies really thought about taking Viagra? You know, that's what I want to know. And I think, well, let's ride. See, I'm going to play like I'm Diddy's defense attorney, but don't think that I'm defending Diddy. I'm not. We're just making this, content. All right. Now, I think Diddy's lawyer should have asked her, excuse me, Miss Ventura, have you ever offered anyone Viagra, male or female? You know what I mean? Because she's saying everything he did. I would have flipped it. Everything she's saying he did, I would have said, well, did you? Have you, was you with a dude and he was just too limp, Miss Ventura? And you just needed to get a boost out of him, Miss Ventura? And did you ever offer him Viagra, Miss Ventura? I'm just saying, because that's how I know a trial is supposed to be vigorously attacked. But we're really going to see what's going on tomorrow, right? Tomorrow when they cross-examine Cassie, you're going to hear things like you never heard before. Look what happened in the first day of the trial. The first day of the trial, the government witness went up there. And when he went up there, he said that Cassie wanted him and told him to urinate on him. He said that Cassie's the one that called for the freak-off, did everything for the freak-offs. This is what was said, by the first witness. And then Cassie goes in the courtroom today, because we riding, and her husband is with her. And then now they're going to ask a pregnant woman with 3 kids for a man in front of her husband, you know what I mean? Did you want to get urinated on? You think that she's going to say yeah with her husband sitting there? I think they even had to escort him out of there. I mean, right now, her testimony is geared towards protecting, I can't say her bag because rumor has it her man is broke. But, so I think it's protecting her name right now. Do you think Cassie can bounce back and become an entertainer? After all of this, do you think she can bounce back? Y'all put it in the comments and let me know. But is that crazy or what? Somebody let me know. Her husband is sitting in there and she has to talk about being urinated on. And, I think they even said, oh my God, we're going to hear some of the things that's being said. Sit back, enjoy the ride. All right.
Johnson asked, and how did you feel? Ventura responded, sensitive and engorged. Johnson asked, did you want to take the Viagra? Ventura responded, no. I thought, no, I didn't. Johnson asked, when escorts were having trouble getting erect, what, if anything, did you observe affected their inability to get erect?
Right there, she should have asked her, when the performers and the escorts wasn't capable of getting an erection, what did you do? Did you offer anything? Did you make any suggestions? Was you frustrated that he couldn't get it up? I mean, I'm just saying, these are the questions I would have asked because, that'll show the jury what type of person we're dealing with. Did you get angry when the escort couldn't get it up, Miss Ventura? That's what I would ask. Did you get angry? Was you teed off when he couldn't get it up? Did you offer Viagra? Have Sean ever given you Viagra that you chose to give to another participant? Put it in the comments. Let me know.
Ventura said, like I said before, just the distraction of seeing Sean move around, maybe just hearing his voice. Ventura said the freak-offs were carefully choreographed, with Combs dictating how they unfolded. Johnson asked, "How would you know when to make that move?" Ventura responded, "I would just do it and hope that it would be accepted timing-wise," or he told.
All right, so she's saying that she just do it and hope it's done timing right. Is that what she said? Doesn't that sound like someone that's willing to be molded or taught? Like, I just do what I do the best I can, and I fall back and I wait for him to tell me if I did good or what I should do. And then now it flips when she's trying to get the bag to it was forced when she was open for suggestions, lessons, or whatever you might want to call it, allegedly. I'm just saying, I just want y'all to see the other point out. It says, don't just listen to this, because they're going to rip this apart tomorrow when, Diddy's attorney get to go up against her.
Johnson asked, "Who would tell you?" "Sean would tell me." When you would ask Sean if you could move from masturbation to touching, why would you ask him? Ventura said it was his fantasy. He was controlling the whole situation. He was directing it. He was doing the lighting. He was telling us where to be, what to say, how to act in the room.
And at any point, could you have said no, Miss Ventura? At any point, could you have said no? That's what I would like to know.
Johnson then asked, "And you testified that you would sometimes move straight to oral sex. Why would you want to move to the next sex act?" Ventura responded, "I would just try to speed the process along. It was personally, if I get it done, then it's over. And then we move on to the next thing."
So was she in anticipation to get to the next thing after the oral? That's what we need to know. I'm just giving y'all things to think about that I know is in your subconscious, but we won't bring it to your conscience because, conscious, so that we could get to the bottom of this, pause.
Just wanted it to be over. While on the stand, Cassie detailed the planning process that goes into a freak-off. Sean Combs entrusted her to reach out to the male sex workers.
Now, he entrusted her, and she said that's forcing her. I don't know if that's the way y'all interpret it or not. Feel free. I'm going to open the phone lines up in a minute, so y'all just take in the dialogue. What up, April Phillips? I see you. You know what I mean? Let's put some of these comments up while I'm talking. This is what April talking about, right? It was identified as a likely outcome early on. Is going to be my way of saying, I told you so. You told him so about what, April? I didn't even understand what I just read. Maybe it's my comprehension. But let's get back to the tape while you fix that up, because that sounds a little,
Johnson asked, "When you were, what, if anything, would you say to the escort about what you were hiring that escort to do?" Ventura responded, "It depended on the situation, how they came in. But I would usually say that my husband is into something called voyeurism and he likes to watch me with another man." It was like a basic conversation that I had with most of the escorts. From there, I would get a feel if they were willing to do it or not.
Doesn't that sound like she was a willing participant to you? Somebody let me know if that sounds like she was a willing participant. Somebody let me know. Thank you, Goddess. I'm just breaking it down so that our people could understand and see things for what it really is and open a third eye and not just listen to what the news say. All right, let's keep it moving.
Later, Cassie started to piece together why she was instructed to ask certain questions in the screening process. Johnson asked, "You just said that sometimes Sean asked you to ask if a person was a cop, right?" Ventura responded, "Yeah." Johnson asked, "And you said later, I learned about why." Ventura responded, "Yeah."
So if you was trying to get away and this freak off was traumatizing you in this way, Miss Ventura, why was you trying to elude the police when you could have got with the police and got out of that messy, toxic environment? I can't wait to see how the lawyers are going to go, because I would rip this apart, as you see. Miss Ventura, you telling me that you wanted the freak off, you call the people here, the people get here, and they come and they can't get it up. And you didn't get angry because he couldn't get it up. You didn't ask Sean, as you call him now. for a lift me upper, aka Viagra? Somebody talk to me, man. You know what I mean? Good looking, man. Good looking. All right. You know what I mean? CT Bentley. I don't see a Rico yet. Thank you for the donation. Some people recognize that the game is to be sold, not told, and some people come back, grab a stone, and sit back and try and get things for free. Nothing wrong with that. But at least hit the like button. All right. Yo, I'm gonna put the intro on. Yo, hit the like button. Let's catch up because the numbers is crazy back here. The numbers is crazy in the back, and I don't understand why the likes are so low. So let's get this up. We got 3,000 hours of watch time with y'all watching. We got 500 in the building and two little things. Let's get the intro. All right, so now let's get back to Miss Ventura.
Johnson asked, "What did you learn?" Answer from Ventura, "I learned that this whole situation was not legal." One of the defense attorneys objected. The judge sustained the objection. The jury should disregard the witness's last answer.
Now that's what I hate, right? I hated that. Well, I didn't like that, because YouTube say don't use that word. But I didn't like that when I was going to trial, when they threw a low blow they knew wasn't supposed to be thrown, hit that like button, right? And then say disregard. That's like, yo, she got AIDS. Oh, my bag ain't supposed to say that word either. I'm just a screw up. She got the alphabet boys. You know what I mean? So they say she got the alphabet boys. And when you say she got the alphabet boys, then next thing you know, they say, oh, yo, disregard. I was just lying. Now the thought is there that she got the alphabet boys. I don't want that. Do you? Would you gamble with somebody? Like, I see my man, right? We're sitting on the milk crate. We ride. We're sitting on the milk crate up in Harlem the other night, right? And matter of fact, I was in the Bronx. I was up in the Bronx by Fordham Road. So we sitting on the milk crate up there on one of the side blocks. I don't want to put them on blast. But a little female come by, right? A little squally. She comes running by. And she had something she was selling. I don't even know what it was. But she said that, she wanted $20 cash app. So my man went to send it to her, cash app. So he did it right in front of her. He gave her the phone. She typed everything in. He took the joint back and he changed the amount real quick and he put $1. So now he sent it and then he showed her that, look, when the little check went through, it went through. So she gave it to him and he peeled out, 10 minutes later, she come back kicking and screaming like a banshee. Oh, you robbed me with my money. You only sent me $1. You only sent me $1. And I'm sitting there thinking, man, she would have used Cashbox. You know what I mean? If she would have used Cashbox. Because Cashbox got a virtual vault in the middle. That when you send your money, if that's not the person you're sending it to, or if the wrong amount you're sending it to, you could pull it back at any time, But now, if she would have used Cashbox, you understand? She would have stood there because she wouldn't know what the hell it was because it's just coming out in June, and she would have obviously knew to watch and learn about the virtual box. Let's keep this moving.
There were times when Cassie Ventura said she would actually use a fake name when reaching out to these people. It was...
Hold up. So you're saying you used a fake name when reaching out to people, but yet you was trying to get away and couldn't get away because he had you kidnapped and pumping you with all types of dope, but yet here you go, you're using a fake name to elude and continue to evolve this alleged RICO, which we know is openly a conspiracy, but I don't know if it amounts to a RICO. Do y'all think that amounts to a RICO? I still didn't even see the 5 people that he said he conspired with yet, that he ordered, organized, or supervised. And that's what the elements of the RICO is. Somebody put in the comments if they know who the 5 people is. Please, somebody put it in the comments because I'm really confused. JW, the Mann Act, as known as the White Slave Traffic Act, is a key part of his story. The law was passed in 1910 to combat human trafficking, but was used against Johnson, that was a boxer, due to his relationship with, you already know what he's saying. Thank you for sharing. J-Dub, round of applause. Good comment. All right. If you're going to clap, I'm going to bust my gun. I'm going to bust my gun if you're going to clap. Relax. Let's get this party right.
Jackie Starr, and Combs would use pseudonyms. They were Frank Black and Frank White.
Now, she's using the names and hiding and trying to tell me that she was forced to coerce. Somebody tell me if that's a RICO.
Johnson asked Ventura, in the beginning, was Sean open at the freak-offs about his true identity? Ventura responded, he was not. Johnson asked, how, if at all, did he disguise his identity? Ventura responded, well, he started with the masquerade masks. Sometimes he would wear a hat or something covering his face. Johnson asked, were you open about your true identity? Ventura responded, I was not either. Johnson asked, and what, if anything, did you do to hide your identity? Ventura responded, the same thing as far as the mask. I would wear wigs. Johnson asked, who asked you to wear a wig? Ventura responded, Sean. Cassie Ventura disclosed.
Hold up, stop. So you're saying that maybe they had a conversation? Because, I got to play devil's advocate. Maybe they had a conversation and she said, I really don't want to do this because they're going to recognize me. I'm Cassie. I'm big time. He said, you ain't nothing. Stop it. If anything, just throw a wig on. Maybe Diddy just throw a wig on. You know what I mean? Or maybe she said, yo, I'm down to do this. Maybe she was pushing the issue and said, look, I'm going to just throw a wig on. Or you got to do throw on a mask and look like Robin. You know what I mean? And we get the Batman for you. You know what I mean? Pun intended. Let's keep it moving.
How much money the escorts would typically make to the jury. Johnson asked, for the escorts who you interacted with, what were they paid thousands of dollars to do? Ventura said,
before Ventura says what they was paid thousands of dollars for, this is for the men and the women. If you was paid this amount that she's getting ready to say, would your ass participate in a freak off? That's what I want to know. Would you participate in a freak off if you got the amount she's about to say? Now, Miss Ventura, please finish.
To ejaculate, to finish. Johnson asked, is that after they finished having sex with you? Ventura responded, after having sex, after a long session. Johnson asked, and for all the dancers you interacted with at freak-offs, were those individuals paid as well? Ventura responded, yes. Johnson asked, how much were those dancers paid when they came to freak-offs? Ventura responded, anywhere between that range that I said before, $1,500 to $6,000 or $7,000.
Hey, yo, to men and women watching, would you take $1,500 to $7,000 to have sex with Cassie? Put it in the comments. Let's keep it 100.
But if Sean Combs was not pleased with the performance, their pay reflected that. Johnson asked, okay, when escorts would ejaculate on you, who, if anyone, would tell them where to ejaculate? Ventura responded, Sean was usually right there directing it where it could be. Johnson asked,
hold up, so she's saying that Diddy actually say, nah, not on nipple. Not on nipple. Or nah, get the left shoulder. Make it look like a gunshot. Let it hit her real hard so her head drop back and a wig fall off until you can see who she is. So you can, oh my gosh. I mean, yo, this is nothing more than one big freak party. I can't understand and can't believe that I'm actually witnessing this, but it's entertaining.
Were there occasions when escorts ejaculated without having been told to do so? Ventura responded, yes.
So basically, they painting Diddy as a cold freak where he want to be in charge, where he even tell a man when to ejaculate. Don't do it, nigga. Don't do it. I said, don't do it. I'm not going to pay you the $7,000. Don't do it. Okay, release it. Is that some being in control freak-ish or what? What the heck is going on, man? Yo, good look, man. Come on, man. Stop fighting me over here, man. Yo, CG Benny, man. Somebody let me know. Did he tell him, yo, don't do it? I'm telling you, you're not going to get paid, dog. You let that nut out know you ain't going to get paid, dog. You better hope you know what I mean? Let's take a ride. Because now it's getting funny to me, right? So, forgive me for laughing. But now this remind me of the joint that Nick Cannon got on his joint wilding out, right? That joint they got called Talk and Spit. You know what I mean? So Diddy's going to tell him when to come. You know what I mean? So he let Cassie freak him off really good, and they got a hold of nut. And then Diddy tell him, release it. And then Diddy tells Cassie, now rub it on my chest. What kind of freak we do over here? Somebody explain this to me. imagine Diddy, right? Tell on him, right? She said, imagine Diddy hold a bottle of baby oil like a gun to his face. Like, don't do it. What if somebody give me a bottle? You know what I mean? Yo, I like it. Yo. See, it's how funny when, yo, I'm telling you, don't boss it. Don't boss it. Don't boss it. Hold it. All right, now shoot it in the face. All right, come on, Cassie, rub it on my face. What the heck was going on in these suites, man? Is this what money make your mind go to? Somebody help me understand.
Johnson asked, what happened on those occasions? Ventura responded, they got paid less. Johnson asked, what, if anything, would Sean say about when escorts ejaculated without having been told to do so? Ventura responded, he was pretty open with the fact that he wasn't pleased by their performance. So yeah, he would take less money. Johnson asked, and when you would go into the other room and you said Sean asked you to put semen on him? Ventura responded, mm-hmm. Johnson then said,
yo, she said, mm-hmm. Did that mean she was having a flashback? Somebody help me understand here. You know, you got to look at both sides when you look at things now.
Did you do that? Ventura said, I did. Johnson asked, where did you put it? Ventura responded, usually on his chest, on his nipples. Johnson asked, did you want to do that? Ventura responded, no. Then
now she didn't want to do nothing that she did for 15 years. Somebody help me. What did Eddie Murphy say? Good gonna goo goo. Somebody help me understand this one here. Y'all better call in when I open the phone lines. Hit the like button up here, man. Y'all gotta hit that like button because this is getting cold freaky.
Cheers.
Hit that like button. We'll be right back. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. All right. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Unique Mecca audio in the house. Hit that like button. We on fire.
Fresh out the can of 26. He back on the strip, getting back in the mix. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Real. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem.
Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hey, yo, we got 1,000 people in the room. How many people we got in the back, man? We got 1,000 people in the room in 30 minutes. We doing good. We riding, man. Let's get back to Cassie and this freak stuff, man. Because I can't believe this is happening over here. All right, where we at? We got 93 likes. We don't even have 10%. Y'all better hit that like button, man. Yo, come on. Don't let me y'all out now. Let's go.
Ventura testified about escorts sometimes having trouble performing sexually. Johnson asked, and what did Sean do when escorts were having trouble with erections?
Now stop that. We don't want to know what Sean did. We want to know, what did you do, Cassie? Miss Ventura, what did you do when he couldn't get it up and he couldn't you good enough? What did you do? All this about, we want to know what you did too, because you was a willing participant. And that's what the lawyers is going to ask him in the morning. So sit back. I'm going to do my commentary on that too. And I'm going to do a whole nother special that I'm going to do. I'm going to break the whole case down in Hood Talk. So y'all be on the lookout for that. All right.
Ventura said, he would give them a pep talk. At the end, they definitely didn't get paid the normal amount. I know that. Johnson asks, how do you know that? Ventura responded, because he would tell me and he would tell them as well. It wasn't really a secret.
Nah, it wasn't a secret because you told Diddy, you know what, Diddy? You know, give him this. He didn't perform as good as Johnny. Johnny hit it from the back a little better. And he seems kind of lazy. I don't feel right giving him the same thing that Johnny got. You know, these are the conversations that they're having. Come on, man.
Johnson asks, when you say he, who is he? Ventura responded, Sean. Now, we all heard about the obscene amount of baby oil found at Sean Combs's property during those raids back in March of 2024. But now Cassie's testimony puts that amount of baby oil into context. Johnson asked, you mentioned that the baby oil was used because you had to be glistening. Ventura responded,
So what he's saying, Cassie, I mean, Cassie or Ashy. Cassie was ashy? That she needed 10 bottles of baby oil? Why didn't he just take her to Tony Busby and dip her in Texas? Isn't Texas full of Earl? Do you think that Cassie should have been, dipped in oil in Texas because she was too ashy? Somebody let me know what's going on with this, man.
Johnson asked, who told you that you needed to be glistening? Ventura responded, Sean, it was his preference. Johnson asks, how frequently would baby oil be applied to be glistening? Ventura responded, like every 5 minutes. It was
Damn, she was that ashy? I didn't think light-skinned people got ashy. Somebody put in the comments, you ever met an ashy light-skinned person? You remember Ashy Larry? I mean, that was his name, right? On Dave Chappelle. Have you ever, met an ashy light-skinned Harry?
It was a lot. Johnson asked, what, if any, comments would Sean make about needing to apply baby oil? Ventura responded, he would, if he felt like you were too dry, he would let you know.
Told you, she's
Johnson
ashy.
asked, what would he say? Ventura responded, he'll
say you's an ashy mother tonight. Somebody get some baby oil down here for Cassie. Yo, Cassie, we ain't got time to take you to Texas. You know my private jet could take you there, but right now we're in the middle of a freak off, so we just gonna squirt this baby oil on you till we can get you down to Tony Busby and get you all earled up. I mean, it's not that complicated. I got it.
Say you're too dry, you need to put more oil on, or you need to be glistening, you need to be you need to be shining. Due to the demand, it makes sense why Sean Combs had more than 1,000 bottles of Johnson & Johnson baby oil at his home. Johnson asked, approximately how many bottles of baby oil would be used in a typical freak-off? Ventura responded, a lot. I would say definitely somewhere close to 10. Johnson responded, what size were those bottles? Ventura responded, the larger size bottles. Johnson asked, were there freak-offs where you ran out of baby oil? The defense objected, Your Honor, at this point, it's getting a little cumulative. The judge responded, let's see if we can wrap this up and move on. Johnson followed up with the question, you also mentioned Astroglide. How was that used at the freak-offs? Another objection.
Do y'all even know what Astroglide is? Somebody put Astroglide in the comments. What the heck is Astroglide?
Came from the defense. Irrelevant. Emily.
I think it's a lubricant of some kind. He really got Cassie on some ashy time. Should we change her name from Cassie to Ashy? Or Ashy Cassie? Or Cassie? Somebody tell me how we should rearrange this. He had to get all this baby oil for Cassie? I think Cassie's beautiful. And she glistens so... Oh, she had a lot of baby oil. My bad.
Emily Johnson said, Your Honor, it's a supply. And the court then went to sidebar. At one point, Ventura described how Sean Combs set up an elaborate freak-off using a blow-up pool at a hotel in Beverly Hills. Assistant U.S. Attorney Emily Johnson asked Ventura, what concerns did you have about not getting into the pool with the baby?
Let me ask you ladies this, right? Because we got quite a few ladies here. Y'all need to call in a minute. We get ready to do the call in. As a matter of fact, let me put the number up there real quick. I want to hear the ladies' opinion, right? If a man took you to a hotel suite, and he went and put a pool, a blow-up pool or whatever kind of pool in the middle of the, joint, wherever in the joint, and he got rose petals and all that, would you call that romantic, or would you call that being odd? Or manipulated to give up the goods? I need y'all to call in right now. The number is up there. I need a lady to explain that to me, because I mean, I thought that was wine and dining. I thought that was creative in a relationship. Bring it to a hotel, you get the pool, you know what I mean? Somebody let me know what's going on with that.
Oil.
Where his phone at?
Ventura responded, that, among other things, just his temper. If that is something that he wanted, Sean wanted to happen, that's what was going to happen. There wasn't another way around it. Another way Combs exerted control over Cassie Ventura, according to her testimony, there was a period early on in our relationship where he wanted me to have a nickname for him, and I didn't want to call him anything that anyone else had called him. So he asked me what I called my grandfather, and I said, Pop Pop. Emily Johnson asked, how did you feel about calling Sean the same name you called your grandfather? Ventura responded, I thought it was weird at the time.
Word? Is that weird or what? You call your dear sweet grandpa Pop Pop, and now you got a man telling you to call him your dear sweet grandfather's pet name Pop Pop. Ladies, would you do that? Is it a price on you doing that? For the right price, would you allow another man to call you by the pet name of your dear sweet Pop Pop? Or should I say your dear sweet Pop Pop? Gunshots to that one.
Time, and now I just feel like it was disrespectful. Federal prosecutors
Now
also
it's
brought in
disrespectful.
photos from Cassie Ventura's electronic devices that showed bruises that she says she suffered at the hands of Sean Combs. In one photo taken in Toronto, she claimed that she had to cover her eye with her hair because of a bruise. She also described for the jury having a freak off in New York and taking the drug GHB and blacking out, going into
Keyword, taken, not forced. That's what I'll do if I did be lawyer. My client ain't forced to do nothing. She wanted to get high. You heard what she said. She was trying to numb the pain. Well, I wanted to numb the pain too. Do I charge the person that sold me the drugs? That's all Diddy got to say. Do I charge that man? So how's she gonna charge me? Because, you know, I gave her what she wanted so she could feel how she wanted to feel because I love her. You know what I'm saying? But I love her, dog. You know, Diddy. All right, well, let's ride. Let's take a good ride right now. Right? We're gonna take a good ride. Big shout out to BK Finance. Right? So, keep the comments up on this. Hey, let me keep these comments up, right? As I'm telling this. Right? Now, Cassie, do you think she could get Diddy back? Let's say Diddy is free, right? How would y'all feel or view it if Diddy beats this? Cassie leaves the trainer and gets back with Diddy, and Diddy takes her back. And then everyone asks the question that's on their mind. Diddy, why would you take her back? And what did Diddy say? But I love her, dog. Yo, what the? Yo, who said it best? Eddie Murphy. Good, goo goo. You know what I mean? Picture Cassie getting back with Diddy when Diddy beat this case and leaving the trainer. And Diddy raising the kids like he did Al B. Shore's kid, because you know he liked to raise kids. Somebody tell me what's going on with that. The social media king, somebody tell me. You know what I mean? This is I'm trying to figure this out for the life of me, and somebody please help me.
into what she called a G-hole. She said she came to and was naked in a bathtub, and Combs and a man named Dave were freaking out. Ventura also described a time on a flight where she traded her seat to get away from Combs, but he found his way to her and showed her videos of the freak-offs, threatening to release them if he left her. I want to bring in Rich Schoenstein. He is a trial attorney, and he has been following the Sean Combs trial very closely. How do you think that Cassie Ventura's testimony is coming across so far, Rich? We only have transcripts, but what she is describing is a relationship in which she was in love with a man who was then trying to get her or forcing her, coercing her, and that's part of the statute, to take part in these freak-offs. And this entailed physical and verbal emotional abuse when it didn't go the way he wanted it to.
Right. So, we only have the reports from the scene, which have been very helpful in kind of following this trial. Multiple people who were in that courtroom reporting as it goes. And it sounds like she's doing a pretty good job testifying. The reports are that she's well-spoken, soft-spoken, that she didn't look at Combs directly when she came into the court. So she's a little bit low-key, which I think is the right look for this. And the prosecution is using her expansively, not only as a witness about the abuse she suffered, allegedly, but about the nature of his alleged criminal enterprise and the people under his command and all sorts of other things. So she's covering an awful lot of ground. It's hard to know exactly how that's hitting the jurors.
Hey, yo. I mean, I want y'all to really answer this question now. We're going to get deep and serious for a minute, Rob. If you was on that jury and you heard the government's first witness come in there and say that the key witness wanted me to urinate on her. The key witness is the one that called me and set up the free calls, paid me, and did everything else. And then the key witness, right, comes in the courtroom and her husband is there and she's pregnant. How much do you really feel she's going to be truthful to about her part in this? I'm just saying, put it in the comments. Because she's saying one thing and then her comrade is saying another, because they are on the government's team to bring Diddy down. But the government's key witness, I don't know if y'all paid attention to that, he actually said that Cassie's the one that ran the show, man. That Cassie's the one that wanted me to urinate on her. And now Cassie's husband is in the audience, and Cassie said, oh no, I would never let him urinate on me. But you've been 15 years and you've seen a whole lot of freaky stuff, and now to justify doing it, you know, allegedly, you know, you're saying that because you was hot. 95 to 98% of the females in a strip club, they use some type of stimulant in order to numb the pain of what society consider as degrading themselves. So I want to know, how is Cassie any different than those females that willingly go out and get the drugs to induce, to numb the pain and spend their money at hand, but Cassie didn't have to spend hers because Diddy spent his money for all her expenses, including paying her rent. So do you think he'll tell her if she say, hey, I need you to get me some X tonight. I need you to get me some Catamine tonight. I need you to get me some, you know, whatever tonight. You think that Diddy's going to say no when he's paying her rent in very expensive luxury buildings? But her husband is there, and now I did it, but I didn't really want to do it. There's even parts, I don't know if they're going to play it in this, but she's talking about she caught sores in her mouth. Don't you think after the first time, listen, ladies, you know, I don't want to, you know, even put this visual in your head, but I got to put it there for the younger people to understand, to know, don't do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Now, ladies, if you're dealing with a man and you wind up getting warts in your mouth from dealing with this man, you know what I mean? That's just dealing with that man. I'm not talking about dealing with him and someone else. That's a whole nother level. You're trying to tell me after the first time when your jaw swell up like that, you ain't gonna run like hell? Somebody put it in the comments, man. Let me put the number back on the thing, man. Let me put the number back. The comments going up kind of slow. Where's the number at? I'll take this crap down. Let's get this moving, man. I need some help. All right, that's the number right there. I want to hear ladies' opinion on this. Been on here long enough. Please, let me hear. I'm going to hit the intro while you ladies think who got the balls to get up here. All right. All right, so somebody let me know what's going on. We need a female to call in and explain this from a female's point of view, because I'm really confused now, and I'm quite sure that the viewers are confused as well, because this is all new to us.
One of the quotes from her was, when you really care about somebody and you're in love with them, you don't want to disappoint them. And she...
So you have someone urinating in your mouth? And you get warts in your mouth repeatedly and stick around because you don't want to disappoint them, Miss Ventura? I mean, that's just what I would say if I was a lawyer. You know what I mean? All these terrible things happen to you. You got a what, UT what? She got a UT something. You know what I mean? She got a urinary tract infection and all that. And she had warts in her mouth. And she's rubbing semen from another man on her man's nipples. How do you think, ladies, how would you view your man if he sat there and not only wanted to watch you be with another man, but then want to take that man's semen and put it on his chipples. Yo, I'm so confused right now. If y'all confused, give me an emoji. Any emoji of your liking in the comments if you're confused. And if you're not confused, please explain to us or call the number on the screen, because I'm sure everyone is baffled. You know what I mean? Right now. You know? Hold on, man. Hold on. Yeah, hello. Where you calling from? You're being recorded.
This is Evelyn, and I'm from Wichita, Kansas.
All right. What you got to say about Diddy and all this old nipple rubbing semen and all this?
I think Diddy is one of the greatest freaks ever lived.
Hey, yo, you think he... Let me ask you a question. You think he outdo Rick James and Prince?
Well, yeah, but if you got other men's semen that you like to have rubbed on you, you know, and somebody else said that he was, you know, like to eat it or lick it, and I'm like, oh my God.
Somebody put in the comments if they agree with, what's your name?
Evelyn.
Somebody put in the comments if you agree with Evelyn that Diddy's the greatest freak ever. If you know a freak greater than Diddy, y'all put it in the comments. Go ahead, Evelyn.
Yeah, and they may know, you know, I might not be old, and some people may know others, you know, that have been around the block a couple of times, but hold
on. So you saying you ain't been around the block a couple of times, and how old are you? You don't sound like a spring chicken now. I'm sure you hit a couple of blocks. Stop the games now. You hit a couple of blocks.
I did hit a couple of blocks and did a couple of things.
All right,
there you go. I ain't never let nobody pee on me.
All right. But all I'm saying is you on Unique Mecca Audio. We keep it 100 here. We understand you hit a couple of blocks, but you had boundaries. You know what I mean?
I had boundaries, exactly. And I would never be with a man that wanted me to be with another man, because man, I'm in love with him. And I know how to say no so that he would understand that, you know, I'm your woman and I'm not going to do things outside of our relationship.
Hold on 1 second. Let me take this other one. Hold on. I might merge it. Hold on. Yo. Hello? Here we go. Yo, call it. Where you calling from and what's your name? And turn your audio down real quick, please. Yeah. Who it is?
Unique Audio.
Yeah. Who it is?
This is Miss G. Miss G calling from Harlem, New York again.
All right, hold on, Miss G. I got Evelyn on the phone. I want to see what the two of y'all gonna say. If y'all calling, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna merge the call and get y'all to rattle with each other so y'all don't say I'm picking sides. Yo, Evelyn. Evelyn, Miss G on the phone from Harlem, man. You talk to Miss G and let's see if Miss G agree with the crap you talking. You know, because she says she be, at least you admitted you been to a couple of corners.
I'm Miss E. I'm Miss E in the place to be.
All right.
How you doing?
Well, listen, to me, Diddy is the biggest freak I know of yet.
All right, so let me ask you a question. Stop, pause. So would you freak off with Diddy if he gave you $7,000? Oh, here, pause.
He had to give me a little bit more than $7,000.
So if he gave...
I think Cassie was happy because he was, you know, somebody said that he likes to spend at least $250,000 when he take his woman shopping.
All right, so you give the cheeks up for would you give the cheeks up? Would you give the cheeks up? Let me ask the question. What happened?
I would get that $7,000 for free.
You heard that? See,
I would get that $7,000 out of him for free.
Oh, what you mean by free? You say keep the money, just bone me?
No, I said for free. I come from Harlem. I know everybody in Harlem. Listen, I'm not about that life. I'm not about that life.
But you about that bag.
I'm going to get that bag one way or the other. If I got to run, get the bottles, go to the store, but he will not, and I'm going to stress it again, he will not hit.
He won't hit.
There's
what?
Too many freaks out. Not this booty. There's too many freaks out there. They know too many freaks.
But let me say this, right? Hold on. I got to keep it 100. Listen, if you ain't giving it up, somebody else giving it up, so they going to move right past you to the next.
I know they will. I know they will, because can I say one thing?
What?
I went with them to pick up girls from Chicago places. They didn't even know these girls. They had hoes coming from all cities. sitting on laps soon as they first met these guys. And I'm looking like, do you know him? So no way, Jose. I worked since I was 18 for my own money.
Okay, all right, thank you.
So Miss Evelyn, you'll get the bag.
I sure would. I would get it. I would get it, and I'd be in the Chanel and Louis Vuitton store, and I'd be driving my Maybach.
All right.
Enjoy it, boo.
All right, thank you for calling, ladies. All right.
All right.
All right. Hey, the link is in the bio if y'all want to come up.
He was talking about, participating in these freak offs. And so she's wiping away tears as she says this, according to the reports coming out of the courtroom and according to the transcripts. So she's describing, there's a dynamic here between her and Combs. There's an age difference. There's a power difference. Obviously, he's one of the most powerful people in the entertainment industry. She says she's in love with him. She gets roped into these freak offs. We saw the video. The video plays for the hotel video with the beating, plays for the jury. That's got to be pretty powerful stuff for a jury to see that video and then listening to Cassie talk about this.
Yeah, the video is really shock and awe, and I understand the prosecution wanting to get that video out there at the outset of this trial. That shows genuine physical abuse. There's really no way around that. The rest of the story is more complicated. They're in a long-term relationship. She says she loves him. It sounds like maybe he loves her. There's some behavior that seems like it might be consensual, but Anjanette, it is 2025, so we understand now that things like power are important in a relationship, and that there can be abuse in a relationship even if there is love, even if there is some consent. You can still find that there is abuse. This is at its core a basic domestic abuse case, and that's what the jury has to parse here.
Right. Is this?
We got to call the bank. Yo, you're being recorded. Where you calling from? Let's hear your opinion.
This is Jay calling from Vegas.
All right. So what you think about this whole Diddy fiasco, Vegas?
Okay, so here's the thing, right? I mean, if my memory serves me correctly, Cassie's only hit song that she had was about how good she was at giving blowjobs.
Oh, yeah? I don't know. I was locked up. I'm listening.
I forgot the name of the song, but I'm pretty sure that was her singing that song. But nevertheless, my thing is, I didn't hear anything coming from her that said he forced me to do anything. It was all on the fact that she didn't want to disappoint him or upset him. But the drugs that came in there, he never said, hey, you better take these or I'm going to shoot you, I'm going to kill you. None of that was done. So I'm like, where is the case at? I'm not hearing the case. I mean, at most, I'm hearing a little domestic issue with the fighting back and forth. But outside of that, I'm not hearing any force.
Oh, somebody let me know. Y'all hear any force? I don't hear any either.
So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just don't. I mean, I'm going to be very interested to hear the cross-examination for tomorrow. And I just think that she's going to fold. I think her husband was upset in the courtroom because she didn't reveal all the details as far as, the peeing in the mouth. And I heard someone say today they called it the Dubai soda. Okay.
Domestic
Hey,
violence.
hold on. Let me ask this, right? Do you think the husband might have been mad because she didn't do none of this with him? Like, yo, what the fuck? You did this for Diddy, but you didn't do it with me.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, he can't get too upset because she's the one that got that $20 million from Diddy on the settlement. Outside of that, from my understanding, he don't have the money like that. So, I mean, he better, go along to get along situation and try to hold tight. But I think a couple years down the road, you're going to hear them breaking up.
All right, you know what? Listen. Let me say this. I thank you for calling in, big bro. All right?
Hi.
All right. Let me get back to this, right? All I kept hearing Cassie saying is, we were in love. Everyone have a twisted opinion of what love is. That's why it was sad that so many of us black men got taken away from our choices, let me add. So I'm not going to sit there saying the government was wrong. They wasn't wrong. They had to clean the community up. They cleaned it up. I came home to a wonderful community where I actually see triggers wearing flip-flops in public, man. You know that what that was like when I came and I seen young boys with their pants hanging off their joint, their cheeks hanging out, and they wearing flip-flops and wife beaters. They this big, you know, and they sing there with a cigarette like this. That's bigger than them. What? I mean, they took us off the street, they cleaned up the community, but we wasn't here for our boys or our girls, and that's what created the flip-flop wearing in public rat bastards. And the females that wind up in situations, whether by their choice or not. And I'm not saying that it's Cassie's fault that she wound up in that situation, but I'm just saying because the fathers wasn't there. You're being recorded where you calling from.
Oh, wow. Hi. Yes. Are you talking about the Diddy?
Yes, we are.
Yes. So did you want my opinion right now?
It sure would be nice, being that you called in.
Yeah, I'm calling from California.
Mm.
Yeah. So here's my opinion right now, since we're not able to be in the courts or cameras in the court. They don't have a case right now because they're charging him with other things. They're not charging him from a relationship with Cassie. They're charging him with severe crimes, and it has nothing to do with what they're talking about right now.
Mm. Do y'all agree? Put it in the comments.
Okay, thanks.
All right, back. All right, smash that like button. Let's get the intro going right now. I need y'all to hit that like button with the intro going. We're only gonna do a 30-second timeout. All right. Do you think that that's just consensual bedroom play? I remember one of the biggest blockbuster movies when I was locked up besides Titanic with Leonardo DiCaprio, who might be on the trial, you never know, was 50 Shades of Grey. Everyone went crazy for that book. Was he R-ing her in 50 Shades of Grey? Was he ex-trafficking her? Somebody let me know. Where you calling from? You're being recorded.
Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Atlanta.
Hey, so I got a question for you, right? Because you kept saying there should have been a superseding indictment, right?
There was a superseding indictment.
But what the heck is so heavy that he had no bond?
Nothing. Bottom line is, this was just to humiliate him, take him on the street, and what they're doing is equivalent to back in the 1400s where they hang a dude in Times Square. So they're financially hanging Diddy right now. You know how much money he's losing right now while he's sitting in jail going through this? Do you know how much money? They're financially hanging him.
Right. But with today, right, do you think he's going to really get convicted for any of this stuff?
It depends on
consensual.
In my book. In your book, but then there's people that look at things differently. Hold on, let me bring this other caller in with you to battle you. Hold up, we're doing something different. Watch everybody try this. Hold up. Yeah, I'm bringing this other caller in. What's your name? Where you calling from? And you're being recorded, all right?
My name is Joels. I'm from South Slow, Brooklyn, New York.
Okay. All right. So what's up, family? What's your thought? I lost you. Call back, sis. But go ahead, family. Tell me what it is.
And I was just gonna say I agree with the caller before. They should have charged him with domestic violence, and it should be a state case. I don't see how it's federal at all at this point. Basically, these people are taking payments, so obviously that's consensual. I mean, I don't see how that could be human trafficking when they've already said that there's no child involved or anything like that. It's all, adults.
No, but see, the sex-minded thing was in the title of the statute, and the way it was put out there, the social media content makers, they ran with it and said that he did this and that with children, and even the prosecution said there was no children, but he's already convicted on social media for doing all these horrendous acts with children that the prosecution said there was none of. That's where we at, and that's where his lawyer's supposed to be at right now. All right, in my opinion.
All right? I'd agree with that too.
All right, good looking, homie. All right.
Yeah.
Even though maybe some of this was consensual at times, obviously there's domestic violence here.
Definitely.
Is it sex trafficking? And that.
How do you think this young lady feel representing Diddy standing there right now looking like that in front of hearing how he had a woman getting you in there, you whatever they call the thing in the mouth, all that mouth stuff and all that. And and she's defending him. What do you think about her? Put it in the comments. I think she's doing a wonderful job. I've seen it. I'm just asking the question, not trying to put you in your windows. And I think his defense team is doing an excellent job from the start. Now, I can't wait to see how they handle Cassie tomorrow.
That's the federal crime that he is charged with. She says, I just felt pretty horrible about myself. I felt disgusting. I felt humiliated. She said his eyes would go black. The version of him I was in love with was no longer there. But when does it cross the line into coercion and sex trafficking? And I guess they're going to talk about going across state lines, taking her across state lines. They would both find these sex workers together on Craigslist and things like that. So when does it turn into sex trafficking?
Well, I think it turns into sex trafficking when you're bringing in prostitutes across state lines and paying them for their services. That is sex trafficking. Or if you're bringing her to another place for her to have sexual acts.
Okay, so my question is to y'all, do you think it should be a crime for a dude to meet a female on social media and they want to see if they could get together, and he flies her in, they get together, she go back, and now she's pressing these SA and R charges on him? Because that's what it looks like. If it's something different, y'all let me know. If you agree with it, let me know. Put in the comments. Let's go. Faye, let's go. I need y'all to call in. Let me know your opinion on this. All right. Let's go.
With other people. That, in theory, is sex trafficking. But that's a really good point. There's clearly domestic abuse here, but it has to go up another level to be sex trafficking. And then it's got to go up another level to be racketeering. That's where the government's case becomes more complicated and more difficult.
There's another quote. If I just looked a certain way that he didn't like, maybe I was a brat or something, like he would just let me know I needed to fix my face or watch my mouth. Those were the things that were said in the relationship quite often. Fix your face, watch your mouth, or you have a slick mouth.
She got a slick mouth.
I mean, these are all hallmarks of domestic violence. And maybe that is part of what the government is going to argue, that yes, there was domestic violence quite clearly, but this is part of the coercive portion of the sex trafficking.
Right. It's not domestic violence. He had a bad night and he beat her in a hotel. Right. Nobody should be judged perhaps by their worst night. But this is a pattern of activity. This is fundamentally control of another human being and control over all aspects of her life.
Okay, I want to know, where was her family at? Where was her friends at? There was nobody that could help her get out of this situation. Do you think she's going to break them off a part of that bag now? that she done got after they done abandoned her? Huh?
Her career, her dress, her makeup, who she could talk to and when, what she could do, where she would go, who she had sex with, what kind of sex she had. This is what they're trying to show here is just pervasive control over her life by Sean Combs, and frankly, pervasive control by him over all aspects of his business and personal life.
Hey, yo, let's get these likes up, man. Let's get these likes up. Come on. Y'all ain't throwing no super chat, no none of that, no problem. But let's get the likes up. All right, now we got that in order.
She talked about let's go back to the video from the hallway of the hotel. She said, when I chose to leave, I grabbed what I could and I got out, and Sean followed me into the hallway before the elevators and grabbed me up, threw me on the ground, kicked me, tried to drag me back to the room. He took my stuff. They're basically saying, I mean, in that video, when you watch the whole thing, and we've censored part of it, he's treating her like his property, dragging her back to the room. I mean, it's a pretty shocking thing. Does the video alone show, prove part of the sex trafficking charge, or does it show domestic violence? That's going to be that's the question the jury is going to have to answer.
Yeah, to me, the video alone shows domestic violence. The video alone does not show trafficking. It does not show racketeering. The video alone is him beating his longtime girlfriend, which is horrible, which I assume the jury will react to, but it doesn't prove every element of every count of these claims.
It would be interesting to, look at that jury. You and I are not in there looking at this jury, but this has to be powerful to hear from Cassie Ventura. And what do you think of the government calling her so early on, Rich? I mean, day 2 and day 3 of the trial, they're calling who is basically their star witness in this case.
Yeah, normally they call the star witness at the beginning and then put the other players. Stop it, stop it, stop it.
Did you think that was unusual that they called her so early on?
No.
No, I didn't think it was unusual.
Thank you.
I thought it was a perfectly reasonable strategy move. These cases, you want to open strong. You want to come out of the gate if you're the prosecution with some really strong evidence, and you also want to close strong. We always talk about primacy and recency. We beat that to death in these conversations, but that's what you want to do. There's truth to it. So they wanted to come out strong, and not only is she the best evidence of abuse, but she also, again, she covers such a broad array of topics that are at issue in this case because she was with him for 10 years. She knows about the way he treated her, but she also knows about his life and his business and the alleged criminal enterprise. So you have a witness like that. And by the way, she's 8 months pregnant, so we got to get her on the stand soon, right? And also, if I'm the government, I sort of want to get these victims, I want to get their testimony in before any odd changes. So I would be in a little bit of a rush to do that. And she's pregnant, and she covers a lot of ground, and it's a good start to the case. Makes total sense to me.
Well, we will keep a close eye on it. It's powerful testimony for sure. Rich Schoenstein, thank you so much.
So what do y'all think about that? Y'all put in the comments, y'all let me know, because this whole thing right here is a little crazy to me. Cassie's on stand. She's crying. She's going through it. We know she went through a terrible ordeal, so our prayers go out to her. She found herself in a bad situation, as a lot of our young people do. And that's why we do what we do at Unique Mecca Audio. If you're going to call in, because I'm about to tap out. I just wanted to give a closing statement to let it be known. But just know that on a Diddy trial, the first 3 days, On Monday, May 12th, the jury heard opening arguments and testimony from the first two government witnesses in the case, the escort and Cassie. All right, prosecutors are accusing Diddy of racketeering and ex-trafficking and of using his vast music media and lifestyle empire as a criminal enterprise to harm women and fulfill his sexual desire. And for that, they have what they call a forfeiture clause. That means that Diddy will have to forfeit everything that he owns if he's found guilty of this charge. So now we're going to see what's really going on. Diddy has pleaded not guilty to all the charges, and his defense team has presented him as a violent, troubled man whose actions did not match the government's allegations of him being in a RICO. Okay? Now, I'm about to tap out. I'm going to do a whole show on this. Tomorrow, I'm going to do a pre-recorded because I ain't doing no pre-recorded in a minute because I'm real comfortable with the lives right now. So this is where we at. If you want to call in, call in. If you don't, we out. Know what time it is. Make sure you subscribe to my daughter's YouTube channel, Unique Mecca Audio. And this episode was sponsored by Cashbox. Just so you understand, it's going to revolutionize the way you send money because they're giving you a full virtual vault. All right.
Cheers, cheers, the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime. Fresh out the can of 26, he back on the strip, getting back in the mix. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, make an audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was wine. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spend a couple bands on the dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a roaring uptown. Baby horn uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now you trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend the air. He started in uptown, he gon' finish there. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community yours, so we can give back to the. Cheers, cheers, the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.